I'll just use this little, you just have to use something soft, and as you can see here, I am pressing on hydraulic tappet, and you know, it's not moving anywhere, right? Now look at this one. Maybe I should do it from this side. There you go. You see how I can just, takes no pressure at all to move it. So that's what bad hydraulic tappet means. So if it gets like that, you can either rebuild it or just buy a new one. They're reasonably cheap. Now I'm not going to test all of them because you know, this one is also potentially bad. Kind of soft. Yeah, so this one might be bad too. So I'll just replace all of them. Setting it to top dead center necessary if you want to replace your, for example, hydraulic tappets on the engine. So you will see marks on the flywheel right there. Hopefully you can see it. Let's see. There you go. As you can see right now, it's 0T, meaning that flywheel is at 0 degree top dead center. But when you look at camshaft, you will see that it's not lining up here. You see the mark on the engine head should line up with the mark that you'll see on the cam gear. There you go. Here you go. You can see it again. So another indication is basically that your lobes on cylinder 1 are down. So it means that we're not at top dead center. So first of all, I don't look at anything, just the lobes for now. As you can see, they're coming up, and I'm using crankshaft to rotate the engine. So both of them have to be pointed up. Sorry about vibration. There you go, now it's coming up. Alright, let's see, where are we down there? Okay, so what, 10 degrees? So let's go a little bit. No, why isn't there you go. There you go. So now we are at, I believe, just over top dead center. And this is what you should see here. You should see that basically both lobes are up, or sort of sideways, if you will. And then you will also see that it's lining up on the gear and on the engine head. So that's how you set top dead center. You have to set engine to top dead center to remove camshaft, which is what you need to remove to basically get hydraulic lifters out. A few things to note. I'll be doing this next. So to remove camshaft, first of all, don't forget to remove the tensioner, chain tensioner. That's very important. Next, what you want to do is remove cam bolt. I forgot torquing specs on it, but you know, this is what you have to remove. I replace those whenever I remove it, just to be on the safe side. And then there is a sequence to unscrewing camshaft. So I'll show you what the procedure looks like according to Mercedes manual. So this is basically what the process is on a 602 engine. As you can see, here's what it says: unscrew both hexagon bolts on camshaft, bearing caps 1, 2, and 6, dark arrows. So as you can see, 1, 2, and 6 is actually light arrows. So I don't know what happened here. Maybe the colors are transposed or something, but anyway, so you basically unscrew caps 1, 2 and 6, and then the next step is loosen hexagonal bolts on camshaft bearing 3, 4 and 5, so 3, 4 and 5 in increments of 1 turn respectively until counter pressure is reduced. Light arrows. So this is basically how I did the last time on a 603. This is basically what you need to do. You can see it here. So I'll follow this procedure. I can't hold camera and do it at the same time, but it should be pretty simple. Alright, so now the belt tensioner is removed. This is what it looks like. And to remove it, you're going to need 33mm socket. Next will be removal of timing gear. So I have to loosen it a bit. But basically, the way I do it is, so just put something like this in here. You know, I'm just using pliers with rubber. There we go, this will do. You know, with rubber handles to make sure that I don't damage the cam gear. And then to unscrew this bolt, you're gonna need what is it, 17mm socket. You're gonna need 17mm socket. Is it 17mm? Yeah. Oh, one item I forgot to mention is that when you're removing this bolt, as you can see, I've done it now. Make sure you zip tie timing gear to the chain, otherwise you're gonna have to set timing again, and that's kind of a pain. Oh, and then of course I'm using here a screwdriver to make sure that my gear doesn't fall down into the, you know, timing compartment. So alright, now that the camshaft is off, we can test all of the lifters again. Now I can just use my finger. This one is okay. This one is kind of loose actually. See? I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's moving when I press on it, and it shouldn't really move. Alright, and this one is probably okay. This one is terrible. Now that's what probably you don't want to have if you want to have a quiet engine. This one is okay. This one is okay. This one is okay. And this one is okay. So looks like most of them are okay, except for 2. But I'm going to replace all of them because I just don't want to disassemble engine again. So how do you lift them? There is a tool. They'll sell it at Menards. It's that little hook with a magnet. Now watch this. Opa! And that's how you get them out. Alright, so as you can see, I installed all cam bearings. The installation is actually in reverse order. So you install 3, 4 and 5 and tighten 3, 4 and 5 on a 602 engine. Basically in the increments of 1 turn according to the manual. I do it in the increment of half a turn, just because it's easier for me that way. I don't have to you know, turn my ratcheting wrench that far. It's just easier to do it that way, so I do it in half turn. The tightening sequence for tightening torque is actually 25 Newton meters according to the manual. So you do need a torque wrench, and you do need to tighten to exactly 25 Newton meters. Alright, one more lesson. If you are installing camshaft gear and you're replacing bolts, make sure that you get something high quality. I mean, I bought this at your local auto store. This is spec 10.9, which should be good enough, but this is what happened when I was installing cam gear. I felt something snapped, and fortunately I was able to unscrew it. But as you can imagine, removing broken bolt from camshaft is quite a bit of a project, especially if it's deep. So, you know, lesson is, do not over tighten those bolts. The specs say hexagonal bolt should be 65 Newton meters. Bi-hexagonal head bolt should be 25 Newton meters, and then 90 degrees extra. But you know, the biggest one, do not buy low quality you know, timing gear bolt, because you can be in serious trouble if you do that. Alright, first start after replacing hydraulic lifters. So hydraulic lifters should be not filled with oil yet, so they're empty, so the sound is normal. And here's the car after changing hydraulic lifters. There's the engine working.